Good evening and welcome to October 9th, 2024 Town Selectmen's Meeting, Town of Buxton. Call this meeting to order at 7:02. First order of business is a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of prior meeting minutes
Motion to approve.
for October 2nd,
Motion to approve.
2024.
Want me to say it a third time? Motion to approve.
Anybody got to second that?
I was absent.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor? 3, 2 that weren't here. Discussions held between 4 and 7. At 4:30, Chief Collins came in. We went into executive session, 1 MRSA 4056A. Personnel from 4:35 to 5:05. When we came out, we had a lady come in, and Chad will explain that more in a couple seconds. 5:30, Patty McKenna came in. We talked about some cleanups that are being done in town and some agreements that have been made to get it done. At 6 o'clock, Hunter Cox came in, just talked about GA. We've had a few people in, and it quite time consuming for him, and we're just talking about it. And at 6:30, Bill Hall, our treasurer, came in, and we just talked about things going on and where some of the budgets and things like that, so. Projects and issues, Chad,
All right. First of all, do you want me to bring this up on a new business or
whenever you want.
do it now? Okay. Well, let me just run through this real quick. This week I spoke to the fire chief in regards to one of our engines that was down because of engine issues, but it's back in full service. Spoke to our public works director. I had a resident reach out, or I spoke to a resident about the potential of having a crosswalk at the food co-op on Long Plains Road, and they brought that forward to me, and I wanted to follow up with some more, trying to figure out how we could implement this, and because it's a state road, it all falls back on the state of being able to allow it, and then if we just go and put a sidewalk in, there's a humongous amount of liability that could be involved if there was ever an accident there. So it's kind of a state issue right now, although I think the liability would be there anyways if there was an accident. But regardless, that's unfortunately, you try to do things to make things a little bit safer, but the red tape sometimes gets in the way. But on a positive note here, and there was another resident on Long Plains Road that's had continual concerns about speeding, and he was asking about getting one of the, a speed limit sign with a radar in it that flashes, or no, there's not so much a radar in it as
Tells you what their speed is.
Yeah, tells you what your speed is as a permanent fixture at a site. So I did talk to the police chief tonight when he was in, and he is looking into the paperwork on that to apply for that. We might even consider, depending on what the quotes are, and he was going to work on that, about just potentially purchasing them at some point in time, because there's certainly some areas with speeding troubles. But on a positive note, tonight we had a nice presentation to us. Several months ago, a lady from Cornish, her name is Callista Cross, had come forward, and she's been a veteran advocate, and she has been working with towns in the area to have one of the prominent bridges named as a Veterans Memorial Bridge, and she's been going around to different towns and seeing if we can. They'll be willing to put up one of their bridges for that namesake. All of our along the Saco River, we of course all share that with Hollis, so she had to get approval from both sides of the river on those for those bridges. But it is with her work and her diligence, she was able to work with the state to have the designation of the new Salmon Falls Bridge, which hasn't even been started on construction, but the new Salmon Falls Bridge that the state will be building hopefully in the next couple of years will be referred to as the Salmon Falls Veterans Memorial Bridge. And we figured that would be very fitting down by being a new bridge, a new start. She suggested other bridges in the town, but for something like veterans, we want to have it as a very prominent honoring type spot as opposed to one of the little side road bridges. So this seems very, very fitting to honor the veterans. And we were presented this tonight, which is a kind of a plaque. It says Salmon Falls Veterans Memorial Bridge, Buxton, Maine. The branches of the service: Army, Air Force, Coast Guard, Marines, Navy, National Guard, Merchant Marines, and the new Space Force branch. And it says also honoring all veterans, freedom is not free. So we're going to hang this up here at the town hall and send out a thank you card as well too. So this was really nice. All right.
Yeah, thank you, David. Thank you, Chad, for that. Yeah, I did spend some time talking with Hunter this week. Union negotiations are coming up for the coming fiscal year for the fire and police, and I'm going to be representing the town during the fire negotiations, and so reaching out to the union members and trying to get a meeting set up. Hopefully the next week or so, we'll be able to get something put together and start those conversations to see where what they're looking for and what we're looking for, and see what kind of compromise we can come up with. I also did have a conversation with our police chief, Kevin Collins, on the communications network in our community that's been being slowly put together here. We've had some few bugs here recently, but they're working it out. Apparently the communication is much better. And so that was a great move forward for the community to invest in that new communications center for our dispatch for the police and fire. So kudos to the town for doing that. And so that's coming together. So that was pretty much my week.
Frank?
Not a real lot for me this week. I did receive several phone calls from our fire chief, Nate Scholes, on a personnel issue. Excuse me. I was in the office yesterday, and I met with our assistant, who is also our HR director, and talked to him about the personnel issue. I also met with Chief Collins and Sergeant Maines about the personnel issue. I want to just touch base on the new radio system. It's quite a system. I mean, I was up in the Maine North Woods last week, and there is, excuse me, no cell service whatsoever up there. But the store at the campground has Wi-Fi, and I had to go down to the store, and I had my phone in my pocket, and all of a sudden, I'm listening to two of the cruisers talk back and forth, and then I'm hearing the cruiser talking to the dispatch, and it was like they were right next to me. It was just crystal clear coming over the Wi-Fi. So we really do have a really nice system there, and you know, just to let you know that it is just amazing how well it's working. That's great. That's it for me.
Tom?
Yeah, I was asked to reach out to some contractors to see about getting another price to fix the overhead door at Public Works that was run into a while back. I guess the insurance is already ready to pay, but the prices aren't quite jiving. So someone's coming tomorrow morning at 6:30 to take a peek at that. And also the building committee for the prospective public safety building met Monday night down to Scarborough and toured their facility and talked to got a lot of good information from the deputy chief about the process of how Scarborough did everything and what they used for methods for design and building and community forums when it got to that point and whatnot, and got to, take a look at their facility, which is pretty impressive, probably much larger than anything we would need, but a lot of the same methods may be used to get there if it comes to that point. So that's it for me.
I spent a little time down Public Works, as I normally do. Was in the office a little bit, just going over things, and was at transfer station, just checking on them, seeing how things were going over there, see if they needed anything, and everything seems to be going fairly well. And that's about it. Old business, dog licenses. 2025 dog licenses are available now. To avoid a late fee, please plan on licensing your dog before December 31st of 2024 for 2025. And it's state law, and you can come right in here to the town office and do it, and you'll be all set. Buxton opens Saturday for absentee ballots. The town clerk and registry of voters will be open additional hours on Saturday, October 19th, and Saturday, October 26th, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. to issue and receive absentee ballots and register voters for the November 5th general and referendum election at the Town Hall, 185 Portland Road. The polls in Buxton will be open on Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th, from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. That's about it. New business. We got notified today that Aging in Place has received Spirit of America Award for 2024. There's going to be a ceremony November 26th, and there's going to be some dignitaries there, but Aging in Buxton has done a lot of work to help a lot of people, and it's really nice that they're getting this award. It's the Spirit of America Award. So,
What's the location and time on the 26th of November?
there's two dates here. What's this?
Is that the York County Administration Building?
The award ceremony
The old jail?
Yep, the old jail. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
will be held November 20th, 2024, beginning at 3:30.
3:30.
Yeah, at the York County Government Building located at 149 Jordan Spring Road in Alfred. And the November 26th date is when the Spirit of America Foundation Award presented to
That's Tuesday.
the mayor in Augusta and Governor Baldacci, so I guess they're having two different ceremonies. Executive orders by initiative, we have one. Executive Order 242500110, in order to set the hours for registration of voters on the 5 business days before election. The hours shall be from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 on 4 of these days, and 3 to 7:30 on one of these days.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? That's 5. Accounts payable and payroll warrant. Executive Order 2425001-007. An order approving expenditures is documented in payroll warrant 29.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? That's 5. And the amount is $97,113.20. Executive Order 2425001-008. An order approving expenditures is documented in accounts payable warrant 30.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? That's 5. The next meeting of the board, the next selectmen meeting will be Wednesday, October 16th, 2024 at 7 p.m. The next planning board is going to change until Tuesday, October 15th, 2024 at 7 p.m. because of the holiday next Monday. There is also a appeals board hearing on Tuesday, October 29th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Any other business? Public questions and comments?
Dave Hyman, Buxton. Are you going to push that crosswalk thing along to the state, or?
I'm going to try to call again, and it's too bad because it would be a nice thing to have there. And
I'm just curious, you said it was a state road, so they'd have to,
they'd have to push, either they'd have to agree to it, so.
they'd have to agree to it, but I was just wondering if you were going to
Yeah,
push it along.
yeah, I'm going to try.
Okay. Just for the public's sake, when you say that you're meeting between 4 and 7 or whatever it is, and you say we talked about things going on in town, people have asked in the past for you to mention, like tonight was a talk about the transfer station. That's one way to get people involved if they got something to say. If you tell them what you're talking about at that, in between 4 and 7. Just a thought. If they don't know, unless it's brought up here at the mic, you don't hear anything about it. It's just a thought. Thank you. My name is Ken Boyce. I've got a problem with a property of mine on, it's on the corner of Joy Valley Road and Eldon Road. At some point in the past, few years, Eldon Road was paved. Shortly after that, they put a new culvert in there. And the culvert is way too high and it runs uphill. And it's turned one section of my land to a total swamp. I called the road commissioner, left a message probably a year ago, and never heard anything from it. And even as, it was relatively drier this summer than last, and it was still swampy over there. Like I say, the culvert it sits probably 6 or 8 inches higher than the bottom of the ditch. And at the time I measured it, there was 5 inches of standing water in the inlet of it, and the outlet was dry as a bone. So it's obviously running uphill, and I'd really like to have it fixed. It's really, in my opinion, it's devalued the land, but the request for abatement doesn't think so. But when it's all swampy like that, it's not good.
Is the culvert that you're talking about, was it installed on Eldon Road, or is it on?
It's on Eldon Road. We just used Google Maps to measure it tonight. It's about 165 feet up the street from the white line on Joy Valley Road.
I guess we'd have to, notify the Public Works Director, have him go out there, and he'd give us the assessment. I mean, he would be the one that would
Okay.
make those decisions.
Yeah, I'd like to chat with him when he does. And,
Okay.
the other thing I'd like to talk about is the noise. Is there any chance that while you're talking with the state about putting in a crosswalk, we can do something about the nonstop use of engine brakes at all hours of the day and night? I'm not that far from, I'm right at Torrey Hill, and it's just ungodly some nights in the summer. You're trying to sleep. For no apparent reason. it's when they're coming from Hollis up towards Torrey Hill, it's uphill all the way. It's not like, and it's not like they're driving down a 5% grade for 20 miles. You can push the brake pedal at that point. It's loud, and it used to be a nice, peaceful place to live, but it's not anymore. It would really be nice if they could quiet them down. I saw a truck one time using his engine brake. He didn't even have a trailer on it. There's just no need of making that kind of noise just for the fun of it, or for whatever reason they think they need to.
We have had that discussion with the state about another resident on 202, and we have not had any luck at all with them helping us or doing anything about it.
It's funny because Hollis has signs for no engine brakes from that water plant all the way down to the town line, I believe.
But if you listen to the town meetings, nobody obeys those. They still use their engine brakes.
Well, we've got a big enough police force now.
Well, that's a state road, right? You're talking engine brakes on 202, right?
Yes.
So that's,
Well, actually, I live on 112, and they come up the hill. They come up that hill and lay into them right about the time they hit the church. It's terrible.
112's a state road also.
That section of 112 from Torrey Hill to Lowe's is a town road.
Yeah? Any suggestions?
I know they're doing the best they can. You'd have to plant a police officer right there all 24 hours a day to catch all of that. That's going to be problematic.
I guess the suggestions could be made to see if we could put up signs. But like Chad said, the problem with that is then how do you police it? And you said, well, we got a big enough police force, but we can't spend all our resources to make sure people aren't putting on their Jake brakes, right? And so you'd think that people would probably learn after a while, but if they don't, then it becomes a problem that we're not, enforcing the laws, and it becomes problematic again. And from what I've gathered, and the biggest reason behind the DOT not helping us with that is because the Jake brake is actually a safety feature on a truck. And that's what it's designed for, is to help them stop. And that's what the Jake brake is for. And so basically you want to remove that safety feature for the noise reduction. And we do have a noise ordinance in our community, but it has to be, I think, 90 decibels or something like that for 15 consecutive minutes. And so you'll never get 15 consecutive minutes to meet the noise ordinance. So it's a catch-22. We've had other residents in the past come in. It is an issue for the people that live along that road. And apparently, you know, you don't live along that road, you live further back, so it's an issue for you. We understand that, but it makes it difficult to solve the problem. If it would be as easy as putting up a sign, the problem is solved, that'd be one thing, but I feel as though if we put up a sign, it won't solve the problem, we just create other
Right.
problems. If the DOT would allow us to do it.
I'm pretty sure, unless something's changed since I haven't paid attention to that part of the trucking world in the last many years, but I know at one time it had to be like a town ordinance to be able to have it white signs so they were enforceable. Yellow signs, from what I always understood, are not enforceable. They're suggested. And Saco and Topsom are two towns that I know of have ordinances against engine brakes, but other than that, I don't know anybody unless something, like I said, something's changed. But that was my last understanding, is that it had to be a municipal ordinance to restrict them town-wide, and at that point, they can be white signs coming into town that
Yeah.
are enforceable.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean about
Which, that has to go to the voters,
just putting up a
obviously.
sign isn't gonna stop them, because putting up all those flashing signs that said, water plant that way, doesn't keep them off from
Right.
every other road in town, too.
That's correct, yeah.
It's, yeah, between the trucks on Joy Valley Road that can't make the swing when they get up to that little bridge, and just the ones going by our house, night and day, it was never what it was intended to be, for sure.
Yep. I don't know what we can do about it. It's short of trying to get an ordinance through the town, though. Unfortunately, I don't know.
It's worth a try, then. But that's all I got, thank you.
We will talk to the Public Works Director about that culvert.
Okay, thanks a lot.
So, this is a issue that comes up a lot, so we should probably talk about it. So we have quite a few state roads that run through town, and they're designated truck shipping lanes. And so the last person that came in with this, we really put in some hours going back and forth with the DOT, trying to get them to see that this is causing a problem. And basically the DOT came back and said, that's a designated shipping route. They have the right to be on that route. We're not going to change the speed limit. Sometimes they'll go put a sign up, but we've found in the past in some of the places that the truckers will just do it on purpose because the sign is right there. So it actually increased the sound. And so on these state roads, we'd love to be able to, working with the DOT to be able to stop the noise and all of that. But on the 3 or 4, I've been here 3 years, and I've done this like 3 or 4 times with the DOT, and we never get very much satisfaction out of it. I mean, the most that they have agreed to do was like help us get some grants to reduce speeds on those roads, but speed's probably not the problem in that area. It's the noise. There's just not much we can do. The DOT, they love their shipping lanes, and that goes to some of the businesses around here. And we've tried. I promise you, we've put in the hours. We just have not had success.
So you're saying Joy Valley is a shipping lane?
Joy Valley 117 is a big route for trucks to go down. Absolutely.
Well, from Saco to,
Yeah, and then, they've had a lot of
She should go to the mic.
they've had a lot of road work going on, and so they do detours and they go down some roads that they haven't been going down before, and that's probably what's going on right now. Then we have the Salmon Falls Bridge has been a headache for the past 2 years with them deciding whether they're going to tear it out or not. So they close it every, 3 or 4 months and do studies on it or whatever, and then they've got to redirect stuff. So it's not like, we are trying. It's just that we just don't get a lot of, because they're major shipping routes, we just don't get a lot of support on those. And there's not much we can do because they are state roads. So we can continue to try to do that, but in the past, we just haven't had much luck. So I'm sorry, that's just what's happened.
Anybody else?
Dave Harmon again. I think there is a sign, I'm not 100% sure, down there on 117, it says no through trucks. Or, I know up on 35A in Standish, there's a sign up there that says no 3-axle or larger trucks. 35A, that's a state just like 117, and they've got signs up there. So, there are places on these major roads that say no through trucks, or no 3-axle or larger trucks on them. They're white signs, so as Tom
We
said,
have those in town. Waterman Road has one. So there are signs like that in town.
yeah, so, but they can try to get those on the state roads, just like that. I mean, who paves 117 if it gets stove up?
State paves it. The town plows it and sands it, but the state does everything else. They
Okay.
mow it. Well, they're supposed to be.
Supposed to mow it, yeah.
Down River Road between Dory Hill and Lowe's. Town of Buxton owns that now.
From Lowell's to West Buxton?
No.
From
Torrey
Torrey Hill.
Dory Hill.
Torrey Hill up through. So the town owns that one.
Yep.
And if they're gonna close Salmon Falls Bridge, they wanna send the traffic up there, the town just say, no, you can't. It's a town road. Done.
Thank you. Anybody else? Seeing none, no executive sessions after this meeting. I'll call for adjournment at 7:35.
So moved.
All in
Second.
favor? 5. Have a good week and be safe. Thank you.